This is Mike Cardis, and today I want to share a little bit about the exceptions inside the noise analysis. If you're unfamiliar, the noise analysis is something I developed as an alternative to SWOT. So noise stands for needs, opportunities, improvements, strengths, and exceptions. And typically it's laid out like this. You start with your strengths, you go on to identify what the company or team needs. You pull together some opportunities for teams to talk about future innovation pieces. You identify some short-term improvements. The one part that a team and I recently spent a lot of time on is the exceptions. Exceptions are a common tool that are used inside Solution Focused based upon the problems you shared or based upon what you want to have happen. Where is it already happening, even a little bit? Exceptions are also a similar step to what's called adjacent possibles in the world of complexity thinking. So as opposed to going from zero to some huge breakthrough, which is a large gap to jump, you identify where are we now, what's our current condition, and what's the next small step, the thing that's the smallest, least use of energy or resources to get to that we can move towards. Exceptions are the same things. So I was sitting with a team and they were struggling with exceptions. I tried to explain it. We then sat down and we wrote down these two questions I put up here. We had the team look at their strengths, look at their needs, look at their opportunities and the improvements. And we said, from those, what would you like to have happen more often? From those areas, what do you want to see happen more often? And how would that make a difference to you? They made a list. A follow-up question was, from what we want to have happen more often, what resources or artifacts should we prioritize? Artifacts are a way of saying documents, procedures, processes, physical items, resources. What should we say we want to prioritize if you want to have these things happen more often? And by pulling that from the exceptions, they're creating exceptions, or we call blips or standout points in the exceptions on what they want to see happen more often and how to amplify their success. The second part of the question was, we asked them, what would you like to see happen less often? They wrote down, hey, out of these things, we think these are not focus points for us, or these things get in the way of us doing effective work and they're not that helpful to us. And from that, we asked the same question. What resources or artifacts should we unprioritize? Because inside every exception, once you prioritize certain things that happen more often, you're deprioritizing other things that happen less often. And when we frame these two questions inside the exceptions, we create a really strong and psychologically safe conversation around exceptions. And it's within the exceptions that your innovation happens. But it's within the exceptions that your emergent conversations around what do we want to have happen more often, what should happen less often, and that's how your company begins to springboard into new ideas. All right, thanks. I am Mike Cardis. This is a breakdown of the exceptions inside the noise analysis.